UN Spacey Wolf Squadron. This is your Wolf Commander Wolf 10. I am your werewolf. Giving you guys another Wolf Commander Rambles today. Yet again, with an interesting topic about toxic relationships in fiction. Well, toxic relationships in general, to be honest, but we're focusing mostly on the fictional part of things and why writers are so fixated on toxic relationships, or at least what they confuse a good relationship or the mechanizations of a good relationship with things that are toxic in behavior of a character that is supposedly the love interest to the person who's too gullible enough to not see that the person is being their behavior is less than friendly. So, had a little sip there. Let me welcome to the chat. We have Schooner Tune, who's the first this time, with a quotable quote. The fun has arrived. Thank you very much. From Tarzan, the cartoon Tarzan, Disney version. We have Brian L. Martin, the Maverick Hunter Saint, with his ever so hey everybody. We have the Lady of Valor, Leia Plus Size, wishing everybody a hello too. We have everybody talking to each other, wishing each other a hello and a welcome and everything. We have Melissa Harris also chiming in to say, I got some work to do. Good luck with the stream. Me and Jake will see you guys tonight. Bye for now. Thank you, Melissa Harris. Again, whenever you want to hear what I have to say for the rest of the stream, always check the back watch if you can. As always, it's not going away, guys. I will not be moved, nor will I ever disappear. They cannot black bag me, guys. Trust me. So be sure to check out the back watch whenever time we do these things and whenever I'm done. And hopefully you'll be sticking around for next week's review of X-Men Evolution, the second season review. Of course, we'll also be playing on to have some guest speakers coming up. I will not say who. You guys will have to be there along for the ride. So keep an eye open for those. We'll be working towards not just the Wolf Commander just talking, but also another speaker talking. For those of you who've been always an audience of one of the big greats like Sound Engraver or the Professor or even Big Al or say Troy for his birthday one night, you will have this door open to you guys. I will not consider myself the big great yet, one of the big greats yet, but I'm still opening the door for those who want to hear their voice be heard. So with that being said, let's get into the discussion at hand. So, from my observations of what I've seen when it comes to modern writers writing quote unquote romance or romance arcs in their stories, their stories, they tend to seem to have this avatar that they project themselves onto, and it really says a lot more about them when they project themselves into a certain avatar. You know, you have the new Ra series that just wrapped up last year. Thank goodness for that. With Catra, obviously she's a meat suit for Noelle Stevenson to project her insecurities into and onto the show. The way how she's written, the way how she treats Adora in that series is less than friendly. The show goes out of its way to point out how much of a bad friend Catra has been since the time of Adora's childhood and knowing of her, especially given the fact that Lightbringer actually shows her the past of their relationship, giving credence to how terrible a friend Catra is. You also had Life is Strange. This also translates in video games. Life is Strange with Chloe and its prequel, Rachel. Two people. Well, here's the thing. In the case of Chloe and Rachel, I do not believe that that's Arthur projection on their part. I would like to roll out that as a misguided attempt at writing teenage friendship or teenage lovers. In the case of certain other games that I will not be named, there are characters that treat her like crud, guys, like straight up crap. Like we're lit this, and I'm not talking about relationships as in boyfriend and girlfriend or girlfriend and girlfriend or boyfriend and boyfriend or all that jazz. I'm talking about familiar relationships like parenting, brotherhood, sisterhood. You see all, especially in the CW shows. They The funny thing about the CW shows is that when you watch their first seasons, they act like a family above all else. But when you go all the way down to each season after season, they add each other's throats all the time, and they're supposed to be a team. We're only told that they're good friends. We're only told that they're good fathers and good mothers, but it's never displayed that well. I remember one time I was watching Flash season, I think it was season 5. I don't know why I got that far. Maybe because my wife was watching it and I was just along for a ride. You guys are really spiking up the comments, and I'm ready to dig into those delicious comments you bringing in. But let me continue. There's a point where Iris, past Iris, not future Iris. So we see they established future Iris as being overly protective of their future daughter, Impulse. I don't really know her name, her civilian name. I forgot a long time ago, but Impulse. We know that in the future, Iris becomes a very overbearing, overprotective helicopter parent. The worst kind of mother that she could ever been. But then you get to past Iris, and she's acting completely no different than how she was in the future. And I look at that, I'm thinking, how is that possible? Iris of the past is not Iris of the future yet. So why would she start behaving like that at this point? Or what? Here's the question: What will be devastating for her to lose her daughter when she knows that she's going to have her again in the future? That, like, Flash talks about time travel a lot, but they never consider thinking more than one step ahead. I'm like, why would? I'm like, I get it. It will be hard. It was heartbreaking. Spoilers at the end. She fades away because of her power increase. But like, I'm sitting here thinking like, you're still going to have her. I'm pretty sure you're still going to have Impulse in the future. Just because she just faded away in the future does not mean she's completely gone. That's how time travel works. The only problem is that the only difference is that now that you got the knowledge to know that she makes these reckless choices, and she pushes herself this much to the point where she even trusted Eobard Thawne, that it cost her existence. Now you have the blueprint of what's going to happen, and you can still change her fate once you have her. And that being said, now that Iris has the blueprint, she can be less of an overprotective parent. What Barry did in the future, I can't remember what was it that he did in the future, or maybe because he was gone at the time due to time travel shenanigans. But now Iris has the building block to be a better mother in the future when they have their daughter. There's also this other show called Legacies where children are always snappy to their parents, even in the direst of situations. Then there's also shows like sorry, I thought I had this all written down in my head. maybe I should write on my hand if I can't trust that now. Devil May Cry 3 reference there. And we have Neil Star Productions with his famous introductions. The brilliant star that shines through the night, the bumblebee at the bonnet of crime. Rise, our man stands before you. I think I put a little accent there. Let's keep going though. Of course, we also know where this whole trend began with. It began with Twilight and 50 Shades of Grey and many other books like it, where you know that the person, specifically the woman, it's always the woman, that are in these unhealthy relationships, but at the end of the day, the writer still has them end up at the end with the wife's coughing in the background. You okay? You okay? She's okay. Good. Everybody. Sorry, I don't mean to pause. Let me continue. Or was I? Yeah, Twilight. Like the supposed lovers end up with each other, despite you knowing that the person who's trying to woo them are really not good for them. To be honest, like you got your Edward Collins, you got your Grays. It really it's really daunting to say the least when you think about these type of writing techniques and the way how they write their romance. I mean, heck, you even see it in comic books, like a lot of characters act toxic in the workforce, like Carol Danvers, who treats everybody like she's above everybody and they're beneath her. You have kid heroes like Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan. She's mouthing it off to everybody in their faces, and she's only a child who just barely got into the superhero gig. And I'm sitting here like, who are you to lecture them on what's right and what's wrong as superheroes? Who are you to lecture them? It's really breeding a mindset to our human psyche in real life, to the point where we're getting these type of workers that are mouthing off to superiors, claiming racism, sexism, and all that BS, when they're not even in positions of power. Yep. Oh, we have Samuel Proctor here for the Samuel Proctor. Is this your first time joining us tonight today? If anything, if it is, welcome Samuel Proctor, everyone. This is your first. If it's your first time, let me know, or if this is your second time, you tell me. Anyways, oh, I can't wait. Let me keep going. Yeah, you there's no. I've mentioned this to Silent Graver in a Facebook post in the Professor Geek group. Thank you for doing that, Silent Proctor. Anyways, dang, I'm blanking on my thoughts right now. Is it because I have so much distractions in my brain? Let me clear the storm then. Woo-saw. Woo-saw. No, I can. Yeah, you got workplace ethic that's just completely just a foregone conclusion. And it seems like nobody has the energy or any the strength to just fire people with toxic behavior. It's like, say for instance, if I ran my own business, I'll tell you straight up. Anybody who trying to come at me making false accusations on a worker, and they're not willing to bring me proof, I'm sorry. If you can't bring me proof and you're still making trouble and you're still trying to rile up everybody in the workplace, you are gone. Termination. No three strikes. Right there. Because one, my mandate for my business is that I need you to work and make money. And if you're not making money, if what you're doing is not making money, you are you are not valuable as a you're not valued as a work member that I value every other work members because they work hard for their craft. If I let's just say if my business is a comic book studio, you're working hard with your craft. You have writers here, you have artists here, pencilers, penmen, and colorists working their darnest to get a comic book written, published, and sold, and you're sitting around here making potentially false accusations on somebody and wasting my time by not bringing in proof. I'm sorry, you're out the door because I would not allow toxic behavior in my workstation in my business. And this is me speaking from the heart right there because I'm not going to tolerate that. Just like how I'm not going to tolerate any of my nieces and nephews trying to mouth at me, an adult, when they're still growing up. They're still learning. They're still developing. And I'm like, who are you to tell me what's life important to you, or who are you to tell me what such and such is, and you're still at a young age where you're still learning. You're not as smart as you think you are, and you're not as knowledgeable as you claim to be. You're still naive to my eyes. You have a lot to learn out in this world, and especially if you're going to continue to think black and white like that. It's really it's really scary how this type of behavior is now preached to, taught to, built into our society now, where children and young adults are actually trying to stand up to people who haven't even done anything to them, said anything wrong to them, or at least, oh my goodness, it this is one topic that I've been wanting to talk about for quite some time now, and I didn't think I had the resources enough or the know how until now. I do. Now we're in a new year, and I have no idea where this year is going to take us, especially into the next year. And I really don't have the idea of where to fix it or how to fix it, other than the only suggestion I could give you guys is stand your ground, because these kids are running around playing revolutionary LARPing, playing activism LARPing, getting themselves in danger for one, really getting themselves in danger to the point where they could potentially get themselves killed in certain situations. They can actually get themselves hurt in a lot of situations, and their parents are too spineless to even slap them upside their head and tell them to stop. Their parents are allowing their kids to run amok like this, knowing full well that they come from a very traditional ideal era, which could still be maintained and still continues to be maintained among many groups. But now we have spineless parents that wants to see themselves as the good parent, but are not doing their due diligence to punish their child. And this is what the country is running on: children. This is what the country's supply is: children. This is where I don't mean to get onto this tangent. Let me focus on fiction right now, guys. I'm sorry, but let that be a message to you guys to take to heart, to really take that to heart, because that right there, the fiction area is now becoming their propaganda, and it's really being programmed into their minds, and I'm really worried about where things are heading right now. Um, Yeah, but I guess I can read your comments in the 20-minute mark, and I'll keep continuing. I'm gonna start to the top. Now we're here. Start to the top. Now the whole team here. All right. Excuse me. Brian Gilmartin says, I tend to think these writers are simply writing what they know. Sadly, all they seem to know is dysfunctional relationships, which says a lot about themselves. It really is says a lot about them because that's all they know. But here's the thing: what you know can also can benefit you, but at the same time, you can also write what you don't know, which is what you take into to research into. They don't believe the thing is they don't believe in functional family unit. And here's another thing: there's nothing wrong with having a dysfunctional family. The problem is they don't make them entertaining. A brilliant example of dysfunctional family is Fresh Prince of Bel Air with the ooh, why did I forget their last names? Uncle Phil's family. Let's go with that. They're dysfunctional. Make no mistake about that. Despite them being rich, wealthy people, they're very dysfunctional. You got Carlton, who's like the Richie Cunningham of the group. You got Will, who was the bad influence cousin that decides to live with them. You have Hillary, who's the stuck up rich princess, and you have Ashley, who's the tomboy. But they don't click well with their personalities. Of course, Uncle Phil is the patriarch. He's the man of reason, respect, repute, and authority. So of course, once he steps in, everybody falls in line, even his wife. Can you answer that or hang up? Thank you. Love you. There she go again with the phone. Anyways, I'm sorry, guys. Where I'm going with this with the yeah they fall in line once Uncle Phil steps in because he wants structure in his house. Of course, he's a father. Even the mother keeps on even kill when he goes too far. But that's the thing. That's why the two parent system works. Mother and father works with the family, no matter what they say in their so-called studies. You also have family matters where not so much on the dysfunctionality there, other than it's irritating to extent. But when they learn life lessons, you listen to that life lessons. Carl Winslow is the best father I've ever seen. One of the best fathers I've ever seen commit to creating into TV. You know, he's a police officer, yes, but he's an officer of the law, and he respects authority. So he expects authority in his house, just like Mrs. Winslow, who keeps the kids in line as well. You got oh my goodness, why am I blanking on their names? It's been so long. Ricky, you have I think her name was Lana Carla. I'm pretty sure Leia Plus that's what will correct me at the bottom. Uh, but then you also have Steve who adds in that dysfunctionality in a way. Then you have I don't know I'm mentioning black TV shows. I'm gonna bring some other examples too, but this is where I'm getting at with the dysfunctionality. Dysfunctionality can be used as entertainment, yes, but the problem is the dysfunctionality for the shows of today. It's not funny. It's just too serious. It's too dramatic. And I went on another tangent. And that came off of Brian Gil Martin's comment. So let me get to another comment with Schooner Tuna. Let's call New York what it is, shit baiting. That's pretty much what it is. With terrible character designs, mind you. Very terrible character designs. Ugly character designs. I don't know. I'm so glad we stopped at I think season 3. Yeah, we're masochists like that. Trust me, we're masochists like that. Leia plus size. I never watched the new She-Ra. I much prefer the old school She-Ra, not the woke one. Yeah, they'll accuse you of having internalized sexism because you want all the females to look like Barbie dolls, which I'm all for it because their options of what is beauty or the way how they design their beauty is terrible. I've seen some plus size women in fiction that look way better than what they brought in. And I've seen some very beautiful muscular women than what they showed. They can't even. The problem with the new rod, they can't even tell. Their minds are so warped that they can't tell what's an adult and what's a kid. Most of the time, the adults act like kids too. But the thing is, the designing of the children, they're so fixated on this gender politics thing. Is the fact they don't know how a girl develops, how a boy develops when they hit that puberty stage. They don't realize that most teenage girls can have fully developed breasts of varying sizes. But no, we don't want to sexualize teenage. Like, how is that sexualization? You're putting a very important organ on a woman, which she's gonna have when she's of child. There's a reason why the breasts are there. They're not there to they're not just there for the sole purpose of titillation. They're there to feed the child when weaning. Face it, guys. We're getting stories written by people who don't want to be women, who don't want to be mothers. They'll gladly sacrifice a child at the given moment's notice if the child is apparently a hindrance to their economic growth and their workplace growth. They it's been a spree time of the turn of the century, guys. But let me move on. Also, like plus, I with Brian Gilmore agreed. They seem to also write straight relationship as a dysfunction as well. I agree. Say a lot about them. Sorry, I didn't mean to butcher your comment. I know what you were saying though. Neil Star. It seemed like a lot of obviously toxic relationships in modern stories are often given a pass because the relationship is part of the unprecedented niche. There's no niche to it. They're so fixated on that destination that they're not taking the time to focus really what the characters are and what the characters' motivations is. But I think he's also continuing with his comment. I think he's got a 3-point here. So let's shoot for that 3-point, Neo Star. Which is even worse when you realize that they're saying it's better to be in a bad relationship because you won't likely find someone else to be in a relationship with. And in conclusion, don't even get me started on the BS and the CW Flash show. There's a lot to say about the Flash show. I would like to invite you to talk about that if you want to, Neo. Any of you guys want to be invited to Talk Geek? Hit me up on Facebook, if you will, or if you guys follow me on MeWe, I'm also there, same name. So just let you guys know that. Keep up the good work, guys. Keep suggesting topics for me as well. Brian Gil Martin. Kind of think of it, a lot of sitcoms portray fans as dysfunctional. I think I read that already. These writers must really hate their own families. Yeah. I think they're hiring people with fake broken homes. People who want to pretend that their home is broken, but really they just don't like. They want their life to be something a lot better than what's been handed to them. They've been handed a good life, but they want something interesting. So they try to follow the inner city kids that have dysfunctional households and very abusive households, so they can really live vicariously through those guys. But you're not those guys. And Neil Star, The hell does War Machine even see in Captain Marvel? That's a see. Here's the thing. That's manufactured. That's not a real pairing. That's manufactured. It's like the time when they paired up Storm with Psylocke. I'm like, how? Why? How's that a pairing? Y'all just putting people together just for the sake of putting. It's like it's like sitting in your own room with your dolls, and you take a random doll, and you take another random doll, and you just put them together. Bam, they're in a relationship with no explanation, with no build up, nothing. I think I read your. I'm gonna read it again. I know it's constant arguments between couples and stories for the last decade. Yeah, and yet they're trying. Yet it's told to us that they're in a good relationship, not shown to us. Truth be told, Led Plus Size, I want Marvel to come back at this point, but then again, he died of natural causes, so to speak. So let the man stay dead, because I don't want them butchering him either. Neil Star, Kamala Khan is presumptuous as hell. That is so true. She she projects her insecurities on her so-called friends. She she tries to disobey her parents at any given moment's notice, and yet she's the victim. When she gets herself into certain situations, she is the victim. Watch Literature Devil's video about that. I think it was the why so many Marvel superheroes are Mary Sue's. I think that's where he talked about Kamala Khan, or I think he was talking about it's in another video. Check out Literature Devil. Period. He's good. He's good people. Let plus size. The SJW of the world feel it's empowering when you're a woman. Do mouth off a someone and respect them as your example of that Captain Marvel. Yeah, we got far too many women that really try to mouth off on people that are not in any positions of power. Yet they want to act like they feel disempowered, but they're not going to. But the problem is they don't want to work hard to obtain said power or any position that they want. But they want to whine to the heavens on what on their haves and have-nots, but they're not walking to attain the haves and have-nots. Tuna. These romances are more focused on the image of the relationship than anything else. Just another check mark. Cartoons are the worst, but we're seeing it now in all media. That is so true. Though I will also say that we are still getting wholesome entertainment. We're still getting wholesome entertainment. Is truth be told, at this point, it's getting to a point where now I'm going to have to rely on Christian media to get my wholesome entertainment. If the woke entertainment is starting to take more control and more territory, I'm like, dude, I never thought I would say this, but I'm willing to watch any Pure Flix movie at this point, even though they're bat snoot too at times. Heck, the only good show that I've seen were good wholesome families, even though they had some they have some sort of dysfunction, is Good Witch from the Hallmark channel. And as sappy and corny as it can be, Good Witch has some wholesome moments, some very wholesome lessons to learn. And my goodness, it's not saying that the Good Witch show is not bad. It's good. It's good. But if you can get past some of the sappy stuff they do, or some certain things that they repeat on and on and on that you'll pick up on later on as you go through each season, it's a good show because half the time the parents speak with authority. Half the time, all the time, the parents act like parents, the children act like children, and the moral authorities More authorities. The authority figures act like authority figures. Everybody acts human in Good Witch. Star. From what I recall, War Machine and Captain Marvel had hooked up before Captain Marvel went feminazi. And then here's a second. And for some reason are dating again now. Never mind her actions getting him killed in the first place and eventually being Iron Man to death. Yeah. It's like they turned the good people into battered, abused victims at this point. The more reasonable characters are these abused victims now stuck in this loop. Brian Gilmore. Speaking of the workplace, we had somebody fired because he was constantly drunk and refused to sober up. It boggles my mind that modern writers would think such behavior is acceptable. Because, as I said time and time again in many a stream, they want their vices to be normalized. They want to not accept responsibility. They want someone. That's why I keep saying. There are children in the workplace, children in the writing department, children in positions of power. These are children, no matter how adult they look. These are children running the facility, acting as if we're basically playing work, playing pretend. But any instance when you want them to buck up, oh, you just don't understand me, ma. That's basically it. Basically how they're pretty much that's how they're responding. It's going to tuna. They're projecting a toxic form of strength, independence, and so on. Not only that is the new form, hype and cool. It's not. It's not. That's not. No matter what they're trying to tell you, that is not their new normal. That's not even normal. That's just. I keep repeating myself. I'm a broken record. But I'm a broken record. I'll be a broken record for you guys. Like I said, they have no moral authority figures to pop them on their heads and make them stand at attention. That's why they're acting out the way they're acting out. We have far too many narcissists running around too that have never been disciplined. even Brian Gilmore agreed. Except it's not strength. It's a horrible weakness. We call the weakness ego, which these fools should check at the door. Neil Star. In fairness, this becomes a toxic behavior stream. It still technically fit the toxic relationship theme. I think I should have you know what? I think I can rewrite it. I can retitle it. You know what? That's what I'm probably going to retitle it. Actually, it's going to be called Toxic Behavior in Fiction. Let's go ahead with that one. So here I am, correcting it. You know what? You know what, Neil Star? I'm so glad you're here. It won't let me do it. Whatever. We'll shuffle along. We'll shuffle along. Now the comments just dropped. Just straight up just jumped again. Sorry, guys. Oh, we have Damon X247 in the house. Welcome, everybody. Oh, my goodness. Right. Thank you, Led Plus Ice. The Banks. That's what Fresh Prince family's last name was. Sorry, I'm trying to there we go. Now, oh my goodness. You guys are congratulating Brian Gil Martin and Neil Starr. Let's Let's go with Leia plus size. I do hate in movies and TV shows when the kids come in and tell the adults who have lived longer than they have what to do, and they allow them to do it. Yeah, it's really what these so-called toxic kids want to live in that fantasy, and they project their fantasy onto their writing in their quote unquote writing and in the media. They want the kids to rebel for rebel's sake. It's basically Lord of the Flies growing at this rate. It's beginning to become Lord of the Flies, where the kids are trying to get away from the adults. We used to have stories like that too. Episodes like the Proud Family, where why am I blanking on her name? The main character, they were having this whole little strike, but in reality, they're still children and they still need to go home and eat some food. Long story short, that's where they gave up at. It's like I wish that episode will be shown in school more. It's like you want to do this, but in reality, you don't have the energy or the resources to do this, do you? Let alone you don't have no plan for that. Brian Gilmartin to lay plus size. It's the whole adults are useless trope taken to its logical extreme. Useless, or they just don't want anything to do with their children because because most of the time these parents are parents that didn't want to be parents in the first place. That's the worst thing. That's the worst kind of parenting you ever would become, or at least you want to have in abundance in society. Is parents who didn't want to become parents in the first place, but they are now, and most of the time they don't want to deal with their children. Especially rich folk. Rich folk are the worst because when they're parents that didn't want to be parents, and yet they have all the money in the world to not be parents, and they still end up becoming parents. They just don't know what to do with their children. It's sad. It's sickening. And lay plus size. If a man is rude, he is toxic. If a woman is rude, she's empowering. That is true. But we are starting to we're actually starting to turn that around. Make no mistake about that, lay plus size. We're starting to actually see shows and media to actually really turn this around and show that the woman is the toxic one too, not being empowered. Watch Cobra Kai for one example. It's going to. I agree. Stand your ground, but be warned. Once they do what they will, once they do, they will get angry at you and they will try to shame you into submission. Stand firm. In the end, they're all bark with no teeth. That's right, Schooner. Pretty much how I did with bullies. At least until I introduced their list to my fist, and then they some became my best friends. Well, not necessarily best friends. They just became friendly around me. Let's go to it again. We all need an Uncle Phil in our lives, and a red from the '70s show. From that '70s show. I mean, none of those men gave the main characters an inch. Exactly. We're talking about Uncle Phil who chucked Will's best friend out the door when he stepped out of line. That's the type of parent that we need now more than ever. Plus size. Speaking of the Fresh Prince, that is an example. Will tries to outsmart Uncle Phil, but Uncle Phil will always put him in his place and will learn a lesson. Exactly. And people tell us those shows are outdated. Oh, we don't operate in that no more. This is like no. You're the child. That's the parent. Listen to the parent. Shut that down right now. I'll tell you one thing. My niece tried that with me. She will turn around, or at least let me rephrase that. She ever think about doing that, she gonna rethink what she did. Because I'm not gonna have that. My mom knows this. My mom knows I don't play. Because she didn't play when she was raising me. Neither did my dad. Neither does my stepdad. They don't play. So I take examples from my parents when it comes to looking at my nieces and nephews. If they're getting out of line, I'm gonna say, hey, stop, slow your roll, sit down, slow your roll right now. And I think that's probably what my calling is going to be. I think I'm going to get together a parenting school to toughen up parents. I think I'm going to have to kidnap. I shouldn't say that on stream. I'm just going to take some parent boot camp. That's what I'm call it. Parenting boot camp. Oh, these kids are going to see a whole different generation of parents this coming year. If I ever get started a parent boot camp, oh yeah, yeah. Now we ain't got off track of the fiction part. We got into real life. Thank you, Neil Star. Lil Richie, Aunt Harriet, Laura, and Eddie. Thank you. You know what's funny about Lil Richie? Lil Richie always disappeared in the background. He was a sweet little brother though, but like whenever time he popped up on screen when they do the opening, I'm like, oh, it's Lil Richie. It I gotta say, Family Matters kind of did Lil Richie dirty because there was never from my recollection there was never really much of what they did with Lil Richie other than him kind of like being either in the background or he does have a few speaking lines or sometimes he'll interact with Steve, but there was never a time I ever saw him doing anything of significance. He was the teen family pet child, as I like to call them. Just there for younger viewers, basically. Just like Grandma and Aunt Harriet comes in every once in a while. Rest her soul, by the way. I think she passed. She's still around. I'm not thinking Yvette from the Parkers. Is that where I need to stop. I'm blanking on names as usual. Later plus size Carl Winslow was the father figure to Steve. Steve was strange, but Carl treated him like his own son. He was a good father to Eddie as well. See, that's one thing I liked about Carl Winslow, the dynamic he had with his family. I also like the dynamic between Steve and Eddie too, because I remember this one episode where these boys locked Steve in this locker room, and he was there all night at the school, stuck in the locker room. And Eddie the next day went to the boys and pinned them to the locker with his bare hands. And I was like, ooh, Eddie gonna get you. Eddie, here's the thing, the Winslows, for as much as they tell him to go home, they stick up for that boy. They stick up for Steve. And Eddie right there, man. When Eddie stood up for Steve, I was like, I'm hoping that there was never an episode where I really see Eddie get really, really mad over Steve. Like on account of Steve. I'm like, whew. I never want to see him that mad ever, because Eddie's from my young childhood. From the way I see Eddie, he was like that sweet guy, even though he was like the jock, like sports and all. But he's got like this sweet tender side to him too, you know. But mess with Steve, oh, you gonna die. Then of course there's the father son dynamic between him and Carl, and it's like, you know, that's something that we need more, especially for our sons and fathers. Most of our sons are not without fathers or male role models in their lives, and the alternative they're offering are weak men in these fictional stories. Neil Star, they want to be an activist, but none of them want to be entertaining, and that's the thing. They can. Here's the thing. They can still be activists. Nobody's stopping you from being an activist. Why do you need to be in the entertainment industry if all you want to do is activism? Especially if it's easy for you to take a microphone and step outside and talk, but you want to push your message in books. Now you become a communist. Now you're no longer an activist. You're a communist now, spreading propaganda. You're now a propagandist, Damien. It's a small blessing with how Nura went that it and Master of the Universe are now two legally distinct IPs. That is so true. Be thankful for that. Leopold starts to Neil Star. That's right. Right now, they care more for preaching their woke views than telling funny stories. Brian Gil Martin. We're getting stories from people who don't want to grow the F up and become adults. That's true. That is so true. That's why sometimes their shows tend to have very creepy aspects to them, like Peter Pan creepy, like a dark Peter Pan creepy factor, where you have a child that don't want to grow up, but thinks he can raise your children and have fun with your children. That's why Jordan Peterson brought up Peter Pan in one of his lectures. I watched one of his lectures and he brought up Peter Pan, and boy is it spot on to what we're dealing with right now. That's why I'm so interested in our children so much. Yeah, plus that's a Brian Gilmartin. That is so true. Oh my God. You have these young boys sitting around being lazy and not wanting to mature. I see it a lot. Lockdown's a paradise for them. Truth be told, it's a paradise for them now. They don't get to do anything. They get to stay at home and not do anything. That's a paradise for them. Schooner Tuna, we're in an age now where actors and actresses at award shows are openly talking about how great it is to have abortions. I'm terrified. Yeah, I brought that up a few times with the lady who played the mother in Greatest Showman, talking about how really encouraging women to get abortions so that they can have better business opportunities. And I'm like, no, no, that is a sensitive topic that needs to stay a sensitive topic. Don't assert your absolute view towards abortion. No, you need to treat that with care. It's like carrying a box. Basically, it's basically how Ace Ventura was treating his package in the beginning of Ace Ventura, the first Ace Ventura movie. That's basically what she did. She was basically handling it the way how Ace Ventura was handling it with that box. It's sensitive, fragile material, and yet you're kicking it around, letting the elevator door crunch it in here and there. That's how I see it. When she said that, I'm like, no, you you're an adult. You made that decision, fine. But these are young girls who are going into this whole situation, not knowing the repercussions or the potential repercussions. You need to add. You cannot just say it's a wonderful thing. Back to Schooner Tuna. We have heavily romanticized the broken home trope. Oh my goodness. Don't even get me started on the broken home trope. Oh my goodness. I was almost in a broken home. Actually, I was in a broken home, and I do not want as fun times that as and bright spots there was. I never want to go back to that. Always hearing gunshots in the background, fighting, watching people fighting, dog fights in the backyard. What was considered the backyard, where we lived in the housing project. Oh my goodness. Right, young Martin. To Square Tuna, see also that lady who played A. Brock's love interest in the Venom movie. I don't know the context of that. I saw that. Is she? Is she the same woman? Are you talking? Is that the same woman? Oh no, Neil Star. Identitarian body positivity is just hypocrisy. They insist that you be more open minded about looks and body types, but they never adhere to their own standards. Brian Gilmore. Like I said before, they want the power, but not the responsibility. Exactly, guys. Oh, I'm waiting for Leia Plus Size to get herself ready for this because I definitely would like to know the woman's perspective on the body positivity movement and the what it is and the pandering. So I'm not putting you on the spotlight. I don't mean to put you on the spotlight that Leia Plus Size, but yeah, yeah, we'll get there. And like I said, I won't move until you're ready because I would love to hear the woman's perspective, or at least have the woman's perspective on this show about this type of thing. Because you're not one of the million. You are actually the million, the silent million that knows that looks as much as they want to say looks are not everything. They are a reflection of how you carry yourself, how you take care of yourself. Make no mistake about that. Looks may not be everything in the views of those who don't take responsibility for themselves or take care of themselves, but the looks do reflect how you treat yourself on a day to day. Like plus size. It seems like these grown men want to sit around and act like they're 13 years old and want Hollywood and comic books to drop down to their level instead of making them better. And this is why I keep drawing my characters the way I draw them. You know, you see a few of my art on the Professor Geek group. You see how I draw the draw the Klingon cleric Troy Pacelli and Ma Pacelli. You see how I drew the professor. And those who follow me on Twitter on my first original my older account have seen how I portrayed Kat and Ishii. What I present to them is their idealized forms. It's just it's kind of funny hearing from Professor and Troy that they're being inspired to work out now that I've drawn them in their idealized look. But that's what it does. That's what it's meant to do. It's meant to put you into that motivation to build your life better. To build your life better. It's going to Neil Star. They do not adhere to stats because they want to be the only pretty ones in the crowd. Oh yeah, let's also get back to that whole high school drama stuff. And speaking of which, the toxic behavior comes also from the high school drama, from people who never left high school, put into their work. That's why I always had this fixation on prom in most of their shows. I'm like, what's so good about prom? What was so good about prom? A prom that you probably did not attend to, a prom that you did attend to but didn't do jack squat whatsoever. What was so good about prom that you missed? Because I never went to prom. I never went to homecoming. You think I'm going to sit around and cry about it? You think I'm going to sit around and think, dang, maybe I should go back to prom? I'm not going to put that in my work. Especially if my work is fancy. What the heck a fancy got to do with prom? That ticked me off when I think about it. Like what does prom got to do with fantasy? At least Harry Potter can get away with that because it's fancy in the modern times. It was a ball anyways, but still. Like, make no mistake about it, that's their version of prom. But here's the thing. It works with Harry Potter because their wizarding world also is in line with the real world. So of course prom makes sense there. But in a alien world like say Thundera or wherever the world She-Ra reside in, that don't make sense. None of these creatures know anything about prom. So why is it there? Stupid. So stupid. Truth be told, if you want a dance episode, why do you have to call it prom? Why do you call it a ball? Stupids. Neostar. Third-wave feminists and SJWs are complete hypocrites. All the things they claim are toxic slash masculinity are toxic are all the things they claim make women heroic and empowered. Absolutely no sense of irony. Mm-hmm. Brian Martha's schooner. It reminds me of the evil queen trying to kill Snow White. See, here's the thing. I wish we can go back to that kind of writing. I really do. I miss that. I miss that snoot. I really do. I miss the elderly woman versus the young woman. I miss stories like that now because at least that serves that kind of serves a truth in reality where how women compete with each other. It's truth in reality. And the chat jumped again. Arthur's Jr. is here. Sweet. Oh, dude, take care of yourself. If heavy storm in Finland. Oh my goodness. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that, dude. I hope you're doing okay. I hope you stay warm out there, dude. Y'all doing some lines from Uncle Phil. Nice. Penny Proud, yeah. Thank you, Neil. I'm moving back up. So now I'm now caught up. Brian, forget inmates running the asylum. We have babies running the nursery. But plus size SJOs are the very thing they claim to be fighting for. He who fights them up, Nishi. He who fights monsters must tread carefully for they shall become monsters themselves. Neil Star, good point, Wolf. These woke is feel entitled to their negative traits, such behaviors are actively encouraged to act on them. They need to. That's why I don't trust PBS now because I don't think PBS is the same PBS as they used to be. I think that's why they got rid of the Puzzle Place too, because the Puzzle Place was that one show that teach people how to respect each other properly, how to respect each other's cultures properly, how to share culture, how to stand up to bullies. And that show has been gone to fade out of existence. Yeah, we still got reruns of Barney. We still got possible reruns of Sesame Street. No story time. Story time's gone now. Teletubbies, thank goodness that's gone, but still. But the Puzzle Place was where it was at when it comes to learning life lessons. When it came to life lessons, the Puzzle Place taught us how to really respect each other properly, how to treat women the way how they're treated, in a way, and how to really respect one's culture and religion. I'm surprised it did not dude. Of all the shows on PBS, we need that show the most because that show had good messages. That puts us a new star, and it will get worse because with a new VP in the White House, they will feel the world owes them everything, and they don't have to earn anything. Yeah, yeah. Where do I even begin with her? Funny enough, my mom actually endorses her too. She doesn't say it, but the way how she act around that lady, it really shows me that she's endorsing that woman. Hopefully, if we do ever talk, I'll try to speak the truth about that woman. And gotta say, guys, truth be told, I think I'm gonna isolate myself from my family and try to work, just just be on my own with my wife. You know, I'm. I know I mentioned about being in my dad's wedding, but chances are I'm probably gonna skip. I'm gonna dip out too on that one because I don't want. I don't want to hear the gossip about what's been going on so far of this year. You know, but family drama aside, or at least personal problems aside, let's get back into it. Let's read another comment. That's Schooner Tuna. I like that. If anything, guys, keep doing what you keep doing what you gotta do. Keep doing what you gotta do. Nobody's Here's the thing. Nobody should be holding your hand. People should be if you stumble, they should be there to carry you when you stumble, but they should not be holding your hand. You got your you got control in your hand. You got control of your life. Whether you believe in a higher power or you believe in nothing, you got control of your hand, and that higher power will be there to pick you up when you stumble, or somebody else will pick you up when you stumble. Yeah, yeah, dude, dude, yeah. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm ready to disown. Like you guys are making it easy for me to disown all y'all. I'm like I'm ready to I'm ready to embrace my family from another family. I'm ready to embrace you guys. You guys are going to be my family from now on. Or maybe I'm just truth be told, I'm just probably just going to people with rational brains. If you swing left or right, you have a if you have a rational brain, I'm just like, bro, you my brother, you my sister. At this point, Neil Star, thank God for Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai never dies, and don't use that word, dude. You know how Mama Chelly. I'm not. I don't even. I'm brown on screen. Now Mama Chelly gonna be mad. You gonna get Mama Chelly on you. To Neil Star from Schooner Tuna. Precisely. No one crosses the shredder. You turtles, I'll kill you. You guys want me to do some more shredder lines? Bring them in. Just bring them in. Uh, Neil Star will be right back. I'm pretty sure he's already come back. Somebody's gonna get it. I don't know where. Oh, that's a Steve line. Neil Star, exactly. Even though Carl was very annoyed with Steve, but he still cared for him. Like that's what you. That's one thing you gotta take into what the writing is. Even if the character is annoying, but has some qualities to him, make sure that the people around them that get annoyed by them actually treat them like they care. And he did protect and stood up for Steve more times than I can count. I'm getting goosebumps right now as I'm saying it because that was like that's one of the reasons why that kept me going with Family Matters as well. Is just seeing that dynamic between Steve and Eddie. Even like I said, even though like I said, the Winslows can get annoyed by Steve's antics, but the thing is that they're the the Winslows are good people. That's the point. They're good people. Even though they have their own dysfunctionality sometimes within their household, they're still good people, and they're good to the next door neighbor's child. No matter what theories people will pull out their behinds about Steve, like I don't think Steve is abandoned or his parents are on a family trip or anything. I think his parents are around. It's just that think about it like this, guys. Who in here who was born way back when went to your neighbor's house to hang out with your friends next door? That's how I always see it. Your parents were still in the house, but you went outside to hang out with your best friend next door or several houses down the street. That's how I saw it. Whenever time I saw Steve came to hang out with the Winslows, it's not that his parents had time to hang out with him. No, he was done with his parents for that particular amount of time. Now he's going to go to the Winslow's house to hang out. At least now the parents know that he's in good hands when he goes to hang out. It's like Dennis the Menace. Hey, Mr. Wilson! When he goes to hang out with Mr. Wilson, he is next door. And he is a trusted friend to the family. You guys get my drift, but yeah, that's how, a lot of people would like to think that Steve Urkel's parents left him home alone. I'm like, no, that ain't what that is. Steve is done hanging in his house now. Now he's going to go hang out with the Winslows because they're trusted, responsible adults and potentially friends of the Urkels. And mic drop there. Brian Gilmore. 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3. What the heck is bothering me? I pointed that out several times. Like man, like I said, I'm revisiting that scene again when Eddie goes to school the next day and caught the bullies and literally pinned them against the locker on account of them shoving Steve into a locker. That's my boy Eddie right there. That's my boy. Chest pound for Eddie. Like, dude, he was pissed. Sam Proctor says they stay entertained because politics is downstream for culture/art. Yep, that's true. Damien X says C.S. Lewis would call SJW male characters as men without chest, no passion nor courage. Neil Star says Eddie is a pretty strong dude and has looked out for his friends and young family members. Wish I could have been more of an Eddie growing up. I was at times. But I wish I would have been more. That's if there's anything I ever regret in my life, I wish I could have been more like Eddie. Even despite my size, I could have been more like Eddie. Brian Gilmore. Also, have you noticed that these people are unnaturally obsessed with high school? I hated high school, and I was a straight A student. That's what I'm saying. Everything takes place like freaking Japan is a bedrock for everything high school. But here's the thing. Here's the thing about Japan. Japan makes high school look interesting. Japan makes high school look entertaining. That's the thing. Why can't we? I'm gonna be shatters here. Why can't you be like Japan Bomb Basket, you big fart? Look at Japan Bomb Basket over there. They write everything about high school, and yet they make it interesting. Y'all came to the right place to get me flared up. Y'all came to the right place to hear me get flared up. I mean, my my flare upness is only matched by Troy's flare upness. You know, it's crazy, guys. It's crazy. It's very crazy how we're here now. How we're here. Mm. like I like that line, Brian. By the way, about the Soil Boys. Live plus size to Brian Gilmore. Agreed. They can't let go of their high school life after they've grown and want to stay living in high school. You know what? Here's another thing. Here's an idea I can get to our current president. Why don't you build an adult high school for these chuckleheads? Since they want to relive high school all the time, where they can relive high school forever. But here's a but. It's gonna cost you guys. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. You ain't got no money, do you? Because you don't work for your stuff. You want to work for a non-profit organization. Okay, but it's gonna cost you though. If you really want that high school up, you gotta pay up with your tax money. By the way. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Again, you ain't got no money. I'll let you mull on that for a while. Looks like you're going to have to get a job. Neil Starr. Hell, the only time I saw Eddie lost a fight was from a whole street gang and they had to jump the poor guy. Yeah. Ooh, goodness. I've never been jumped before, but that was horrifying. That was horrifying. Schooler Tuna, these writers / creators, instead of writing aspirational fathers / mothers and fans are instead talking how hateful they are. They did not have that or pretend they didn't, and how they're better off. Neil Star is left again, but he'll be back. No, going to what Schooler was saying is yeah, it's really scary to say the least to think that they would think like this, completely think like their parents are terrible parents, and if you ever came to talk to the parents and they act completely different the way how they describe their parents, that really tells you something. That really tells you something about the kids. And it's really funny if I had to record these children and present what the children said in the recording to the parents. Boy, will they be shocked. I'm like, yeah, you thought your child was an angel. Brian Martellane. Plus, I so true. They want to drag down any characters that are better than they are. They live, like I said, they live vicariously. They feel like their life is fulfilled if they live vicariously through anything, through anyone. They don't want to live for themselves. They want to live through somebody else. All right, good morning. I never went to any proms in high school. Looked boring to me. Also, I'm told the music stunk anyways. They did, dude. I want to pass by homecoming. Let me tell you, it was not the best music choice. And we have Mad Nui in here. Do what now? We have John Shelton as well. John H. Shelton, is this your first time being here? How do you do? Welcome, everybody. John H. Shelton. Okay. Now we're at the top again, or at least relatively the top. The plus sides to the school thing. When I left high school, that chapter of my life alone to move on to a new one. Exactly. You move on. Even if you were in college, you leave that behind. You leave college behind. Then next to Brian Gilmartin, Mr. Lewis was trying to show some class, which today's Hollywood writers lack. They lack the. And thank you for the thumbs up, by the way, John Shelton. Neil Star. You can dance at a club. You can eat at a diner. You can grind on a bed. You can chat on a phone. You don't necessarily need a prom story. It's going to tell with the song, The Puzzle Place. The Puzzle Place. We're going to the puzzle place. Sizzle and Nuzzle are double G. And the Peace Police are on the beat. The puzzle place. The puzzle place. We're going to the puzzle place. And if you're a kid, you got the key. Let's get going to the puzzle place. We're going to the puzzle place. I don't know what you mean by do what now, my new. And it's okay, dude. If you, like I said, if you guys are doing stuff and this is background noise to you guys, think that's good. That's good on your part. Um, just do what you do. Just do what you do, and yeah, good on you to have it warm in your house. So you guys are my pilots, and as a wolf commander, I want you guys to be okay. And John Shelton says Cobra Kai is a fun show. It definitely is, dude. Especially when they poke fun at the woke stuff. I get a crack out when every time they especially when a character stands in as a woke person and they knock him out. I'm like, yes, yes. Before I go on, not even I am crazy enough to incur the wrath of Monticelli. Dude, there was a moment, man. There was a moment where Monticelli showed a wrath. The wolf flinched. The wolf literally flinched. That says something. Arthur's Johnny, you have to walk by yourself, indeed. And when you get help, it's usually better to get help in a way where you have to put effort in yourself. Teach a man to fish and all. Exactly. Teach a man. Give a man fish, he eats for one day. Teach a man to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime. Senator Proctor. My dad talked about how he would always be at his friend's house all day. He only went back at night. That was a life back then, before social media, before all this riffraff. You usually go to your friend's house and just hang out. And majority of the time, there were like I hear people say these things. Like somebody said, "Oh, I went over to somebody's house because they had PlayStation." Or I went over to somebody's house because their house had cable and we could watch Dragon Ball Z. But you still want to hang out anyway because that's your friend, and you guys shared something together. Whether you're a boy, whether you're a girl, you shared something together as friendship. Matt Nui, I don't think Steve Urkel's parents ever made an appearance in the show. They never did. They were planning to, but they never did. Lane plus size. I like the way Grandma Winslow treated Steve too. And yes, I would hang out at my friend's house when I was a kid to play and have fun. Exactly. You either played outside. That's another thing. Why these people have such dysfunction. They have no way of personal interaction with people. They're on their computers and keyboards all day. Keyboard warriors, as we like to call them too sometimes. They don't know exactly what it's like to interact with people socially. They're not socially awkward. They're socially repulsed. And and all that jazz. Matt Nui says, not to mention clicks have never nor ever will be as important as they make them seem in fiction. That is true. And Brian Gilmore to Matt, indeed, clicks are no substitute for genuine friends. You guys are my genuine friends, and we're not even a clique. We're just we're just here in our own little geekdom with the UN Spacey Wolf Fleet. Yeah, I shortened up the title. The full title is supposed to be UN Spacey Super Dimensional Fortress Wolf Fleet. But I decided to shorten up for you guys' convenience. So you guys are the UN Spacey Wolf Fleet, but we're not necessarily a clique. We're just like-minded individuals, or individuals that can still disagree or agree to disagree. But we come together at the end of the day. We reach that end goal. Just be nice to each other, or at least be good to one another. Try to help each other whenever we can. It's the end goal. Just be human. Arthur's Johnny, I've read that the reason why Japan has so many series set in high school is that it was the last time they felt really free. That they felt really free. Can you elaborate more on that? If you can, Johnny. If you can. Well, that's America's high school for you, Brian Gilmore. The truth is, and this goes to anybody whoever felt like high school felt like a prison. It's because our educational system is so screwed up now, and it's getting even more screwed up with the whole teaching of anti-racism in our schools, going far back into elementary school even. They're completely screwing everything up. In our that's why I felt like a prison. As of right now, as our time there when we growing up, but now it's going to be more of a re-educational camp. At the way I'm seeing it, the way how they're implementing it into certain schools, it's going to get everywhere. That's why people are really trying to homeschool their kids now, because what they're seeing going on in the schools is more akin to it's now becoming a re-education camp. It's getting worse, dude. It's going to get worse. Arthur's Joni to Matt Nui and Brian agree. SJWs don't seem to have real friends. They have merely used each other. Yep. Matt Nui also says they only ever seem to really relate to villains, specifically the immoral monsters. Excuse me. I should be going to get my medicine later on from the pharmacy. I need to restock. Arthur's Journey to Brian Gilmore. Well, this was speculation for Japan's obsession with high school stories. And he also adds different countries, different school experiences. That is so true. And Sad Project says, I'm just playing Alien Isolation while listening. Hey, bruh, do you? Tell me how it is, man. Tell me how it is. How you like the game so far? Because as of right now, I'm still playing Cyberpunk 2077. Bugs and all. I don't care. I do not care. If it's gonna get better, it's gonna get better. If it get worse, it's funny. It's funny to me how this game tends to bug out on me sometimes, but not nearly as much as what people others experience. Mine is light compared to theirs. Brian Gilmore to Joni. I call it a prison yard because it was the kind of school for people with learning / behavioral problems. You can almost picture people asking you, "What are you in for?" Sarah Parker says, my future kids are definitely getting homeschooled. My cousin was, and he was more socially adept than anyone I know. Arthur Jones says, Long story short, the overwhelming social and financial responsibilities coupled with the lack of free leisure time. Ah, yeah, dude, bruh. Sam Proctor. Let me tell you something about my experience of alien isolation. The moment somebody shoot at me, I flinched because I almost felt I empathically felt the pain that Amanda was feeling when she got shot. And when the first alien popped in, I was whimpering like Chris Tucker on Friday because when that tail came like I was like that when the alien popped up. I was like, no, man, don't get me. just go the other way. Go kill them. They tried to kill me. Go kill them. Artificial Joey, I wish I was at your high school. He says my personal experience, high school was pretty chill. Yeah, it's getting to the point where in our schools now, the adults they act like they don't have the idea for what it is to combat what is that's a problem. So they invent these sort of rules and regulations that nobody's not going to listen to because of how ridiculous they sound to quote unquote protect the children on school grounds. When what they should be doing is trying to protect the children from pedos, like not just the male teachers but the female teachers too. They got all these rules like respect people's safe spaces and personal spaces. But what are you? But I ask you guys this: what are you doing with the school predators in your schools? You will never get no answer on that one, especially when it comes to female predators. And I'm calling them that, female predators. Well, that's another talk for another time. Let's get back to toxic relationships and fiction. We're going on for about an hour. I think. Yep. Let's keep going. It's another good example. Another good example is the mother is always right in the arguments on raising a child in these shows. Have you guys noticed that too? When the mother always right to the husband, when the husband is speaking reasonably, but the woman ends up winning the conversation, even though what she's doing is less than very let's just say professional. Most of the female characters win the argument anyways in most of these fictional stories and fictional settings, even when you know that what they're doing is wrong. I hate to bring up, like I said, it's a total lack of balance. Like somebody can be wrong, somebody can be right, somebody could also improve, somebody can also build off that improvement. Sorry, I caught your comments. I'll wait. I'll keep talking. I'll keep talking. Or like the sister is getting away with a lot of bad habits and bad behaviors, but the brother is vilified too, or at least the brother isn't, let's go with this, asshat. But at times you see that he's that all he needs is love and all that BS. But that doesn't change that he's been an asshat. Like people are they're making these characters far too forgiving of people's bad behaviors, and I think it bled into good natured people, because I've seen a lot of good natured people let people roll with their bad behaviors far too long. I being one example too. I've even questioned whether I've been too far in my absolutions and my assumptions and my proclamations. At this point, with them pushing the way they're pushing, I stopped giving. I stopped giving a damn. At this point, I'm like, I'm not here for your feelings. You can say whatever you want to say. I'm not here for your feelings. Your feelings get hurt. That's on you. That's not on me. If you got that fragile feelings, that's a you problem, not a me problem. You need to fix that, not me. That's not my job. My job is not to fix you. And let's get into that too. There's always this whole thing about we need to fix them. We need to fix them. We need to fix them. Oh, we can fix them. Or we can fix him. That's why they're promoting this idea that so what if you're in a bad relationship? You can fix him. You can fix her. So what if you're in a bad relationship? You can fix it. That's not your job. I would tell that person that the person that they're telling that to, that's not your job. Your job is not to fix a person. It's never your job. They're putting a responsibility on you that you didn't ask for. It's not your job to fix a person. It's never your job to fix a person. That is not your toy to be fixed. If your toy is broken, you fix that. You don't fix a broken person. A broken person has to fix themselves. And it's too much of that fixing that they keep pushing into your head that you guys gotta resist on. Oh, don't worry, you just gotta fix her. Oh, well, if somebody ever said that, oh, they be hooping and hollering, making war chants and war cries. Oh, you don't need to fix a woman. She's perfect in any way. You don't need to fix a woman. Yes, you do. If you want to fix a man in your world, if a woman's being bad, she's gotta be fixed, right? No, not just no. It's always the man that's gotta be. No, you can't. No. You're not gonna worm your way out of this conversation, thinking that your way is the right way. No, if you're gonna think like that, you gotta do that for the women too. It cannot just be for the man. It's a two-way street, honey. You can't have it both ways. I'm sorry. You're not gonna throw in your mental gymnastics about this BS. That's not what you're gonna do, and I'm not gonna let you worm your way out of it. I'm sorry. If you're talking about somebody who needs to be fixed, you need to. Sorry, I dropped something. If you're gonna talk about some people need fixing, then both parties need to be fixed, right? Okay. Now sit down, have a coconut smile, and shut up. So you guys, it's a whole lot of fixing going, quote unquote fixing, going around in these media types. It's kind of strange how they want to fix people. How they always have this whole we can fix him. We can fix him. Let me read your comments real quick. Ragamar, protect the children except from what matters. Sarah Proctor. I saw one of my teachers encourage a girl to have secret transgender surgery even though her parents wouldn't want it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Who's going like they always going on and on about these bullies and stuff. Who are they protecting? Who's going to protect the children from the teachers that are encouraging them to do this stuff when they're supposed to be going to their parents for this first? Excuse me, I didn't mean to snort. Arthur Johnny, I think the one reason Finnish schools are calmer is the availability of options. There's high school, vocational schools, and polytechnics. Don't know about apprenticeships. Huh. Maybe we should be more like Finland. Brian Martin. I've been vilifying. They've been vilifying fathers on TV for a long time. That's so true. So true. Daddy issue women are vilifying fathers. Women with daddy issues. Men with daddy issues. I don't know that dynamic that much, but they're probably a contributing factor to that too. Also from Brian Gilmore. If I had to write about bad behavior in fiction, I'd show it being punished by the main characters in some way, preferably in a humorous way. No, no, no. Be careful with that. Be very careful with that, Brian. If it's a serious situation like abuse, okay, bad behavior, yes, but sorry, I think I misread your comment. If it's bad behavior, yes. If you want to go humor with it, go ahead. But if but try to read between the lines sometimes, because some things that you might write could count as abuse. So try your best not to be too humoristic. Try to really try to walk a fine balance between what's humorous and what's serious. On if you're gonna do that. Also from Brian, you can't change dysfunctional person. More likely, they will change you if you even try. Plus, as to Brian, I agree. It's worse now because estrogens feel they don't need no man or their children don't need a dad. It's going to tell me if the choice is toxic relationship or not being in a relationship at all, I'd rather be alone. So, yeah. That's why we have a high divorce rate last year, or at least I think the divorce. From what I heard, the divorce rate was kind of low last year. I don't know. That's my speculation. Excuse me. Arthur's Johnny, the schooner. Who needs a 3D man or a woman when you can have a wife or has a husband though? We'll have plus. I actually son is lie that women are perfect in everything. It's the man that's wrong. Some women need to be put in their place. Scooter to Arthur Johnny. Don't see me, senpai. Sam Proctor with the famous line: "Weak men make bad times. Bad times make strong men. Strong men make good times. Good times make weak men." So true. So what happened during the 90s? We had peacetime, and now we have a lot of weak men, or at least very, very weak, presumptuous men. Dang, that's all you guys got for me? You ain't got nothing for me about the whole fixing people? You got nothing to add about fixing? Because that's how it started too. That's another thing that's how it started with the Twilights and the 50 Shades. Is that you just need to fix them. You need to tame the beast. They really twisted the Beauty and the Beast theme to Stockholm syndrome. That's what I was saying. Like when I hear people talking about Beauty and the Beast glorifying Stockholm syndrome, I'm like, no, it did not. No, it did not. That's not what that was. It's not Stockholm syndrome. He didn't abuse beauty, or if you guys are fancy with Disney, he didn't abuse Belle. Yes, he put her in a cell, but that's only because she chose to stay in the place of her father. She chose to stay in his place. Where was the place of her father? The dungeon. That's where he was. So she was willing to stay there. For how long he was going to keep her there. She didn't just outright just start loving him from the sale. What he did was he took her out of the sale, and that's it. He wasn't buying her love. He was actually being kind to her. He noticed that she liked books, so he took her to the library once after he saved her and all that good jazz. Because at the bottom of his heart, he's still a good person. That's the whole crux of Beast. Beast was not an evil person. He was just a misguided person. And like I said to Owen Lister, he's not a redemptive person because he didn't do anything irredeemable. He didn't hit that rock bottom. Why am I even talking about being the beast? Being the beast ain't got nothing to do with this. But oh right, right, because they twist the whole being the beast thing. That's why they got that idea. They think it's Stockholm syndrome. You really think that that's the story of Beauty and the Beast? No, really, it's a story that glorifies Stockholm syndrome. No, Stockholm syndrome comes from a person that's being locked and treated like crud, completely like crud, to the point where they have now been conditioned to like the person who treated them like crud. The Beast was not that cruel. He was never that cruel. But that's kind of like the lukewarm version. I don't know how the original version went. Maybe he was cruel in the original version, and I'm probably romanticizing the Disney version, or getting those two confused, of course. But at the end of the day, it's like that's the problem with them. They're trying to redefine things so that they can act. It's what you guys have been saying for the longest time in many of these streams. They're trying to redefine things to hide their imperfections. Body positivity, trans rights, transphobia, gay rights, which is human rights, but with a different dressing to it. Your rights are human rights. Nobody's discriminating you against your choice to be a different gender. Not anymore. Not that much anymore. I'm sure there's been a few cases where people have been treated badly for deciding to change their gender, but still. But they're changing it to some people are changing it, redefining it to act on their own less than what's that word? Social. Let's go with this. Social justice being injustice because you're antisocial. That's why I call it now. Social justice is their form of justice. It's their way of trying to act on their unjust, immoral instincts, vices, but by addressing it as something of justice. They don't even understand what justice is. They never even study justice. Most of these people have never even they don't even study law, and yet they want to call things justice, which is really revenge, one of the worthless of causes, as Linkar used to put it. I see what you guys have been saying while my attention was elsewhere while I'm talking. I was rearranging my Copic markers. If you guys were hearing the noise in the background. Led Plus Size says, I think the biggest problem in our society is treating love as a bad word. In order to beat hate, you have to use love. And also she asks, I'm sorry, I missed your comment on Twilight and 50 Shades. What was your comment? I think you probably heard it already, but Brian Gamar said, like I said before, Belle initially wanted nothing to do with the Beast. He had to earn her love. That is true. She did not fix him. He fixed himself. And not originally he tried to fix himself to bargain his way to breaking the curse. No, he had to do some things to himself to really change himself to undo the curse. Self-sacrifice being one of them. Being a biblical religious aspect, which is self-sacrifice, a hero's journey, if you will. That's basically what his whole journey is, a hero's journey. Reference Joint says, now that I think of it, I haven't seen Disney's Beauty and the Beast. It's a good story. Pretty cool. Just don't watch the sequels or the prequel. The midquel. I call it the midquel. Plus, they missed the point of Beauty and the Beast. It's about seeing someone for who they really are and using love to do it. And plus size to Brian Gil Martin. Agreed. That's how the spell was to be broken. He had to earn her love, and she loved him in return. That's not. As I'm saying, it's like they try to talk as if the movie is glorifying Stockholm syndrome. That's not what that is. It's never what that was. Brian Gil Martin, delay plus size. Yep, and you compare that with Gaston, who thought he could force himself on Belle. And the difference is night and day. That's toxic masculinity right there, Gaston. Samuel Proctor. Jordan Peterson talked about the Beauty and the Beast archetype, where the woman civilizes the man from being a total savage, but it's more of a little tweak. Modern writers twist it to an extreme. So true. He had a new video, or at least he had a new seminar. I think he did, and I was going to watch it, but I diverted my attention elsewhere. That needed my attention. And he says, personally, I don't think the self-sacrifice had anything to do with it, do with religion for a long time. You don't think so? Sorry, the breaking news. TV star Ellen has come out as gay. In other news, Richard Simmons has come out as really, really gay. Let's go into the original Beauty and the Beast fairy tale. The Beast treated Belle very well. In fact, it's one of the few stories that had a good ending. So true. That's what I thought. I'm pretty sure because I read an original Beauty and the Beast book. And I'm starting to think that it might have been a more streamlined version where we're all familiar with the grand fairy tale versions of stories where they always end in terrible and very terrible endings. But like I said, Beauty and the Beast was never about Stockholm syndrome. Like I said, once you read into it, the Beast never did anything terrible to her. Beauty, I mean, not just Belle, but the character in Beauty and the Beast is called Beauty. And even then, he doesn't really treat her father badly either, other than just throwing him in a dungeon for, like I said, rightful reasons. Not condoning what he, not saying what he did was a good thing. What I'm saying is he was well within his right to do it. That was his property. He lives there. He did not invite that man into his home. The man trespassed it. Again. Oh man, no, you're actually being normal for a change. No, I'm kidding. And like us as an art for Joni. Watch the anime Disney film of Beauty and the Beast. Not that god awful live action movie. That was not Beauty and the Beast. No, but that was Mary Sue and the Beast. That's what that was. Mary Sue and the Beast. Speaking of Emma Watson, it's kind of strange that recently I watched Starship Troopers Trail Over Mars. I'm saying, dude, man, Nui, just roll with it. That's all I gotta say. Just roll with it. Well, No, I was watching Starship Troopers Trainer Mars, and there's this one character that literally had the exact same likeness as Emma Watson. It was scarily uncanny. I'm serious. I'm dead serious, guys. Dead serious. She looked like Emma Watson, man. It was scary. I was like, oh my goodness, why does she look like Emma Watson? As if she was a sky marshal. I do not want to live in a world where freaking Emma Watson is now controlling Parliament. That's scary. Uh, Manui also says Stockholm Syndrome isn't technically recognized as a real disorder. That's kind of weird too. That they choose of all the disorders, they tend to ignore it, or at least not nearly explore it or talk about it. Schooner says the whole Stockholm Syndrome thing is a farce made by progressives to sound smart, new, and so on. Other writers use it to justify why they made male characters darker, edgelordy, and so on. That's so true. I would say 50 Shades of Grey is complete Stockholm Syndrome, the entire book. The entire book. The entire book series is Stockholm Syndrome, or at least a how-to guide into Stockholm Syndrome. The entire book series of 50 Shades. There's a lot in that book that I haven't, mind you, I have not read the books, but I have followed people who have read the books and brought so many points up. That book series is a how-to guide to Stockholm Syndrome. Somebody, a complete how-to guide. Same thing with Twilight. Those are typical how-to guides to Stockholm Syndrome. Even Stephanie Meyer's book after Twilight, The Host, is a how-to guide to Stockholm Syndrome. Yikes. There's a lot of stuff that was working underneath our noses, and we let it. Or at least too many people let it. Not trying to shift blame on anybody, but I'm just saying it happened underneath our nose. Some of us tried to, a lot of us tried to warn us, but we were the silent majority, and people let it happen. Some people are just pawns of the oppressor too. A lot of people are pawns of the oppressors. We're looking to a whole new America going forward. The only thing I ask for this new future, when the hell am I gonna get my dang robot arms and my robot legs? I'm ready to be a cyborg. Dang it! I keep asking that. When are we gonna get cyberized? Then we can put all this BS aside, because now we can change whatever we want to look with cyberization. We can do it once we perfect the cyberization. We can do what we want to change our looks and bodies and stuff. I'm ready to be a cyborg. Dang it. I'm ready to be a cyborg. You demand all this. All thing I'm asking for is to be a cyborg. I will scrounge up the money to replace my human flesh with cyberization. Dang it. Y'all can look at me and shame me all you want. I'm coming to act against God, but that's my choice. All I ask, when are we going to get cyberized? Shoot, dude. I will, Brian. I'm gonna say this right now. Me and my wife was in the theater. I forgot what movie we were seeing that night. When the trailer to the first 50 Shades movie came up, I seriously leaned over. No smoke. I leaned over to her and whispered, "We are not watching this movie, or else I will divorce you if we do." So when Valentine's Day came, we saw Deadpool. That's the movie we went to see on Valentine's Day, not 50 Shades. That's what I told her because we were looking and I instantly okay, I'm embellishing on that. I'm embellishing. I instantly just leaned over next to her. I said, "We are not watching that. If you want to watch it, go by yourself. I'm not watching it because I don't want to hear you complain about all things in the movie, but you're still watching it and you're still complaining about it." Sarah Proctor says, "For all these reasons, we should write our own stories, show them who's boss." Yeah, and then he says, "Including surrender our humanity." And plus, that's Brian Gilmore. "I never thought I'd get through that Twilight crap. Oh, dear Lord, talk about bad writing. I feel sorry for your eyes." Skunatuna says, "Remember when Suicide Squad was coming out? There were a lot of memes that made Joker, Harley Quinn, the relationship goals. And I'm like, and you ask why things are this bad? Oh, dude. Don't get me started with the memes. But before Suicide, this was going way before Suicide Squad. Everybody wanted to be Joker and Harley Quinn. Before Suicide, that just Suicide Squad, Harley Quinn, basically just add more fuel to the fire." And then he says, "Becoming a cyborg is never a good idea." Well, that's you, dude. That's my choice. I live with the consequences. Let plus I says, "You want an Iron Man costume?" Damn right, man. If anything, I want to give me some power armor. At least, Squirtle says, "Take me to the cyberpunk world." I will say this: I will not be glued to the net. I just want to just jump around high up in the air and lift stuff. That's what I want to do. I want to be, if anything, I want to be cyberized just like Ghost in the Shell. I could, I can, I could deal with the fact that at some point I'm gonna have to deal with cyber brain sclerosis. You know what I'm saying? I can live with that, or psychosis from Cyberpunk. I can live with that. That's my choice, though. Arthur's joint thoughts on full body prosthetics, like the major. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't mind. I don't. I wouldn't think. I would not think twice about if the offer was offered to me. I'm like, bruh, give me that. I'm willing to try it out. Manu says, "You know the point of the cyberpunk genre is to be dystopian. I think you need to visit Ishii's stream to know what real cyberpunk is, dude." But plus size, I like to stay human if I can. We all do, but I'm just saying, like man, we're going. I'm saying years of progress, and they keep talking about removing the male and female signs from bathrooms and these unisex bathrooms, and now the president's removing the woman for trans people, and you haven't given us cyberization yet. You're making demands of us, but you're not giving. I'm making bruh. I'm making demands of you. When are we gonna get a robot body? asking us to respect people's pronouns and stuff. When you gonna call me by virtue of cyborg? That's what I'm saying. Artificial says Deadpool is a great Valentine's Day movie, so runnery. Square Tunes also says Deadpool movie had a healthier relationship than 50 Shades. Just let that sink in for a second. That was better revenge a very had a better family story, despite having a dysfunctional family in the second one. Manu says, "Didn't take a rock science to see how 50 Shades is romanticizing what is normally called abused." It's true, so true. Simon Proctor says, "The only good version of Harley Quinn is the animated series version." That is also true. Brian Gamar says, "Give me some Mega Man X armor so I can finally do that dash move." Simon Proctor says, "The hoverboard is 6 years late. A real hoverboard." He also had now a segue with handlebars. You know, y'all want to just talk about fun stuff for the rest of the stream? We got 2 hours in. We can talk about some fun stuff. I love you guys. Land plus size. I think you're just along for the ride for the weirdness that my mind goes. I'm just saying, like, man, what, bro, you making all these demands of us, talking about some respecting people's pronouns, respecting all this, respecting all our diversity, but when are we gonna get our cyberized bodies? It takes two to tango, brother. Even then, if you give me cyberization, I'm not gonna respect somebody's pronouns because they ain't gonna respect they ain't never gonna respect my cyberization. I'm a cyborg. Thank you very much. I'm a cyborg. I'll tell you one thing. If I become a cyborg, I'm definitely going to be saying booyah. Even though cyberization was never his choice, which is really sad if you ask me. But yeah, I think I'm going insane, guys. No, I'm kidding. Let's get back to the topic at hand. So we covered familial dysfunctionality. We've covered workplace dysfunctionality. What have we not covered yet as far as dysfunctionality, or at least toxic relate? I did mention I'm glad you are. I'm glad you are, Land Plus Size. Sad person says I bet will take the low bot head computer. So true, man. I was trying to pronounce cyber cell, cyber deal, cyber deal. Dude, just call me a shale. My pronouns is shale. Square says, yeah, they're removing male, female signs for the bathroom, but when are we going to start having unisex showers at the gym? Bet me that gets the attendance up. Oh, man. I love you guys. I love you guys to death. Almost just equal the same amount as my wife. I love you guys. Brian Gilmore. Excuse me. Oh. Brian Dragonbar says, I sexually identify as an attack helicopter. You understand where I'm coming from here. You guys already understand where I'm coming. The stuff that they keep pushing. Dude, the stuff that they're pushing is so easily mocked. It can be easily mocked because that was never a factor in our daily lives. Oh my goodness. Yes, man, Nui, that joke is still going. I don't think it's ever going to go because they keep pushing it. They wonder why we laugh at them. They wonder why we laugh at them. These are bullies that wonder why the bullied are laughing at them. They suck as bullies. They really do. They suck at being bullies. They're bullies, but they suck at it. And they don't realize that they are bullies. What other type of toxic behavior that you notice in fiction that you guys can bring up while I continue? At least I think we can. You think this would be a good time to stop the stream now? I thought I was going to have a lot to say about this. I don't think I'm surprised I was able to get here this long with this type of topic. Arthur Joyce says, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, pots and pans, and attack helicopters. Oh, yeah. Manui says, romanticizing control freaks. Seriously, this happens a lot. Oh, yeah. You know what? Let's go into that. Control freaks. And those that are idealized. Idealized control freaks. Yeah. Sorry, Brian Amar threw a question into, and I'm ready to read it, but let me continue. But control freaks are now being normalized and idealized now. Like characters like New Rod's version of what's her name? Glimmer. She's a control freak. Can't get any examples because shows like that I always avoid. I really avoid a lot. But Glimmer is one example of a control freak. She's always trying to be in control of everything, or at least she thinks she's in control of everything until when she's not. And even then, she doesn't learn from her experience. Thing is about Cersei Lannister from Game of Thrones and their divergent path in the series. Control freak, toxic to her own brother, to her own children. Sorry, to her brothers and to her children. And ultimately, they all died in the end. From what I heard, I didn't watch it. I didn't watch the final season. But she's one example. The problem is that the showrunners decided to romanticize her and put her on a high pedestal, which I'm pretty sure Martin is not going to do that with her in the books, because Cersei is a lot different in the books than in the show. Whereas, well, truth be told, guys, Cersei is worse in the books. Cersei Lannister from the books is a lot worse. Whereas Cersei in the show from season 1 to season 4, she actually does things for the sake of protecting her children. Whereas book Cersei is just living through. She's basically the definition of a parent living vicariously through their child, while also at the same time hating her husband and always wanting to be in the position of a man. Yeah, Johnny, if he ever finishes book. How many books he's supposedly said that there are in the trilogy? They supposed to be getting done. I think he's supposed to have. I think he's supposed to be 2 books in to finish the series. He's supposed to have like at least like 2 more books ready, or at least two books in the wait. All right, Brian Gilmore asks, "Does Final Fantasy 13 count towards toxic relationship?" Yes. I can never stand why people like Lightning the way they do. Now I like art of her, but I don't like her as a character. I like cosplays of her, but again, I don't like her as a character. It's funny that her clothing option in Final Lightning Returns is Cloud Strike's outfit. I'm like, yeah, no, she isn't. I originally thought she was Cloud, but she's not Cloud. She will never be Cloud. Cloud has humanity to him. Actually has somebody that he cares for. Even if she does kind of annoy him sometimes, but Cloud has people that like. There are some people that he likes, and there's some people that they like less, but he still hangs around them. I don't see nothing in Lightning that tells me that she loves her sister that much at all. There's never a scene where she actually shows any sort of sisterly bond with Sarah. And Sarah and in the sequel, I didn't play that far into the sequel. Sarah goes, she literally goes out of her way to help her sister too. But again, it's like, dang, Sarah, that's kind of sucks how your sister treated you in the first game, and here you are fighting tooth and nail to get to your sister. But what was suggested in the previous Final Fantasy 13 didn't really show me that like she only came after her sister when something bad happens to her, but she's not willing to go to her sister's wedding. Even if she's married to somebody, she's going to get married to somebody she don't like. I'm like, that's a toxic sister. So yeah, it's really caused by Lightning. She has no really good character. I'm surprised SJWs don't imprint themselves onto Lightning. The way that they do with Abby from Last of Us 2, and who else? Y'all guys give me some examples, and I'll read the next comment. But yeah, but in short, I can never stand Lightning. But I only play as her because she has some good stats and stuff. But I prefer Fang over Lightning. Truth be told. Square says LGBTQ relationships are being written in toxic ways because everything is magically all better when they hook up. You just gave me more resources to want to try the attempt the way how LGBT portrayals are in media. I've been wanting to do that stream, but I'm like, I need to make that a scripted one, a scripted stream where I get my notes in and everything. But you're giving me some good right there. That's some good one right there. Sam Proctor says a good relationship example is Spider-Man Mary Jane in the comics pre-2000s. Yes, I missed that. And he also adds They work out their problems. They compromise. Oh my goodness, the chat just jumped again. Schooner Tuna says another example of healthy relationships is Donna Troy and her husband in the Teen Titans comic book. They were married for a long time until they decided to divorce them. They don't know how to write good relationships. That's why they divorced them. That's why they divorced Spider-Man and Mary Jane, because they don't know how to write good relationships. Right, I already read that. Schooner Tuna says Cersei Lannister is tame in Game of Thrones series. Book Cersei? Well, they thought they thought Game of Thrones series was rough. Yeah, but yeah, I only know that she's worse, but I have yet to read how worse she is. I already got the only book of Martin's I have so far is Fire and Blood, and I'm near the end. I'm almost near the I'm in the eve of the Dance of Dragons right now in the Fire and Blood. So, like plus I says, I was not a fan of GOT. I did not like the books and never took to the show. You don't have to. It's not for everybody. Just like Berserk. Berserk is not for everybody. I like Berserk, but I'm beginning to. Good news, guys. I'm beginning to move forward during the eclipse. I'm moving forward during the eclipse. Wish me luck, guys. Because I've yet to get into Lost Children, Holy Knights, Fantasia, The Boat, and finally catching up to where everybody at. Now the series has, now that the manga has finally continued to move. But yeah, Game of Thrones is not for everybody. I'm just like more intrigued by how Martin is able to excuse me, I didn't mean to burp like that. I'm gassy. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm just like really intrigued on how he's able to go into very details about the world in Westeros. Yeah, that's what I was saying, Schooner. It's not for everybody. That's not your speed. That's not your speed. I will recommend excuse me, Del Toro Quest. If you're into high fantasy, definitely check out the Del Toro Quest series. I'm still building up my series. I only have 1, 5, and the complete series that starts from 1. That starts to 5 to all the way to the final book. And I'm not gonna get onto that until I get all the other books, because I don't want to miss out on anything. But definitely check out Del Toro Quest. Plus size if you want to check out fantasy. Arthur Joyce says the reason SJWs don't imprint on Lightning is because she's conventionally attractive. Yeah, and she's made in Japan. And you know how they is about Japan. As far as characters concerned, yeah, you know what? Nah, nah. There's some good characters in Ice and Fire series, but yeah, it's gonna be hard to really pick which ones, because Martin writes them in such a way that they're completely grayish, too gray. Brian Gilmore says they can't write good relationships because they don't have good relationships with anybody. And this is not the SJWs. This is like writers before, way back when. When One More Day happened. There's people who reflect their relationship into the writing too. Like somebody I think one of the writers was like terrible with relationships, so that's why One More Day happened, or at least one of the editors. I mean, Samuel Proctor says, imagine a pair of characters who stay happily married and with kids until old age. Don't make it an imagination, make it a reality. Make it a reality. Quincy says, God is a hard pill to swallow. My brother didn't take to it either. And he also says, good luck on Berserk and hold on to your lunch. Oh yeah, dude. Bruh, here's the thing. I know what goes on later on after the eclipse. I just want to be a witness to it. I just want to be a witness to it. I know about Ganishka and how his stuff is. I know about the trolls. I just want to bear witness to it. I even know what happens in the eclipse, and I still want to bear witness to it. I still want to read it. That's the thing. I'm already spoiled of what happened in Berserk, but I still want to read it because I want to witness it. Knowing about it is totally different than reading about it. There's a difference. That's how I operate. It's like I know about it, but I still want to read about it. That it's like knowing about it makes me want to read it all the more. I want to know more about Farnese and her imperfections before she started becoming everybody's best waifu over Casca and Farnese. I want to know about Sherpako and his toxic, quote unquote, toxic behavior. I want to know about how everybody's recovering, how Guts acquires the I want to be there when Guts acquired the Berserk armor, stuff like that. But man, I finally found I was on Manga Reader for a while, but like Manga Reader is not really that good of a site for manga to read online. But I found a new one. I found a new one. And I'm like, yes, this. The reason why I say Manga Reader is not the best is because their scans are not always the best, and their wording is terrible. Sometimes their wording and translations is terrible. I think they self translate the words to the especially with Berserk, terrible translations. So I finally came across a manga site that actually has better scans of Berserk and better translations, or at least it's a site that tells you which ones are the Dark Horse translations too. So wish me luck as you said, Schooner. Brian Gamar says, so Eclipse is like a train wreck. It's horrifying, but you can't help but look at it. That's putting it mildly. Squirtle says SJW PCs don't want to live in reality or have reality brought onto them. Instead, they want to stay in their bubble. I'm going to pop the ball just to see them flip out. Is that wrong? No. Do it. Do it. Pop the bubble. If anything, you know who they will be in the Cyberpunk 2020 the Cyberpunk world tabletop? They'll be net runners. Or at least they'll probably be brain dancers. Because they can live out their hedonistic lives through brain dance. Period. I don't think it would. Truth be told, if they want to be, if they try to be net runners, they'll be unsuccessful net runners because they're so narcissistic. They want everybody to know that they did it. They'll even record themselves net running. Things are great in my safe space. Safe space is in your home, not at school. Sorry, I'm wearing down a little bit. Trying to catch my breath. It's not easy getting this high in emotion and yeah, just high in emotion and dealing with asthma. But I work with it. Asthma doesn't have my soul, nor does it have my life. If that's all I ever want to be, it's just an asthmatic. If that's the whole life I want to live, it's just the life of an asthmatic. Then I might as well just not do anything, right? Just live in my own bubble. But that's not what I am about. I refuse to tiptoe around things because of my asthma. My parents always ask me about my asthma. They like, how's your asthma doing? How's your asthma doing? It's like, it's fine. I got it under control, mom and dad. Don't always have to ask me about that. But they worry. They're my parents. They worry. Oh yeah, Schooner says Gus and Casca have a good relationship pre-eclipse aside. I don't want to leave Leia plus size out. So let's talk about Captain America and Sharon Carter. Even though she didn't really much buy into that relationship completely built, I still say like, yeah, I agree. I agree on that, but at the same time, from what they gave me, it's convincing. Because here's the thing about me: if you can show me that they really have a thing for each other, or at least show me that they have some sort of connection there, I want to buy it. One thing I messed up when I explained to Lab Plus Size about the romance stream was the in Civil War. That wasn't really them actually coming into the relationship. That was them actually building into that when she gave him that kiss. I think that's where I messed up at. I meant to say that was them coming together finally. Even if you didn't show them interacting that at all that much in several movies, there's a hint in the writing that infers that they had some interaction, like in Winter Soldier, where she's fronting as his next door neighbor that he meets every once in a while at laundry duty. There's a hint that there might have been a few times where they talked, that they socialized, but she never tried to push more than she needed to, because watching him was her job, per orders of Nick Fury. But once that happened, and let's just say Civil War happened, knowing full well that she's Peggy's granddaughter, I think. That's where we're starting to see more of that connection. Even like I said, the interaction is starting to build more. And during throughout that movie, like I said, it's starting to stack more once he receives the kiss from her, which they completely undo in Endgame. I think that's where it throws you off, Leia, because they never put them completely together at the end of Endgame. Instead, he goes back to Peggy. Oh yeah, the comics definitely that relationship did build in the comics. But I'm saying if we would have gotten them together in Endgame, that's where I think should have really, that's where it should have really built off of that, like completely cement that. Simon Project says Richard Meyer has a video on how every classic character has their great love story. It's like hitting a ball on the wall. Superman, Lois, Spider-Man, Mary Jane, John Carter, Deja Thoris. Brian Gilmar said, "Good Lord, don't get me started on how Endgame messed with Cap's arc." Yeah, man. I'm like, in that instance, why would he go back to Peggy? He knows Peggy died in his current timeline, and he knows she gonna die. What she did. That's why we saw Old Man Cap I'm like, why would you go through that? I'm like, that's sending a bad message to young boys. Go after the one that you lost. That's not a message you should go. You should move on. And that's why I was okay with him being with Sharon Carter because he moved on. He moved on. Yeah, Peggy died, but he moved, and that's still going to be a grief for him. But he moved on, and most people might look at it like, oh, he's dating the granddaughter of the love is like that. That's kind of creepy, don't you? Dude, he moved on. That's a different person other than his first love. It's not like he had the it's not like he had the baby with her. We can make an argument about we can make a case about that, but still, I'm like, bruh, he moved on. I saw that. I was heated. I left the theater half heated. I'm like, why? Why would they do that? Why would he go back to Peggy like that? Yeah, I don't. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. You can argue that at some point, maybe Cat was feeling a bit nostalgic in not in what was it 9 months after the snap. But I'm like, again, nobody addressed the question. Where was Sharon in all this? Oh, y'all. uh, we're in some rough times, aren't we, guys? Ragamar says the point of Cap arc was leave the past behind. Endgame shot that all the pieces. Then plus I says, okay, it won't let me. There we go. Ah. Then plus it says, what hurts the most, Steve going back to live with Peggy overshots what he did. All three Cap was giving up what he done. And please don't bring up that old Cap. That's a nightmare to me. I will say this. It's not bad old age makeup. It's not that bad old age makeup. They're some people are getting really good at doing old age makeup now. But I won't bring it up ever again. I will take his line for every time somebody try to demand something of me to do something that I don't want to do. I will say this. No, I do not think I will. No, I do not think I will do that. No, I don't ever think I will. Squinto says Captain America arc in the movie is about letting go of the past and moving on. But they decide to give him a happy, quote unquote, happy ending. And do not tell me he wouldn't try to take Hydra down in the past. He so would. Someone says, my creative writing teacher, one of the few leftists in the school, brought up how crappy Cap and Thor's ending were. The first hint of Endgame being not so great back when I liked it when it came out. And he said he correctly also says non-leftist. Scortona says rough times make for tough people. We are tough. We are tough. Ahoo, ahoo, ahoo. You know. If there's one thing I took away from Black Panther, my fa, my fa, my fa. See, I'd rather be M'Baku than T'Challa. As much as I love T'Challa, I'd rather be M'Baku. M'Baku voiced my sentiments to the black community. We have, let me try it again. We have watched and listened from the mountain. We have watched and discussed as your great advanced technology gets overseen by a princess who scoffs at tradition. And do you want the leader of our great nation be led by your prince who couldn't keep his father safe? Hmm. I say we will not have it. I say we will not have it all. Ah, Mbaku, I accept your challenge. Mbaku, glory to Hanuman. Land plus size. I don't care how the good old makeup was. Don't want my last image of that fine, sexy man. Only grace, sorry, not what I want to see. Oh man, I can't wait for you to get. Man, I can't wait to invite you on here. You, the conversations we will have. She also says to Sam Proctor, listen to your teacher. They are wise. Sam Proctor says to Lane Plus Size, he left the school just like all the other cool non-political teachers I had. That's a yeah. It's sad how that happens when really good teachers have to leave, but the bad ones end up staying. It's really baffling how that happens in real life. That good people leave, but the bad people get to stay. Why? Why do bad people get to stay while good people get to leave? Forcibly, if need be, by those who are bad. Why? Because these people like the drama. They feed off the drama. Drama is now a commodity. Toxicity is a commodity to them. Nobody is ever happy unless there's drama. Luckily for us, we're not that type of people that wants drama in our lives. We like to live comfortable. We like to live secure. We like to live with people who are not going to give us that much toxicity in our lives. That's the thing. And yeah, we may have our disagreements, but at some point we work through those disagreements. But at the end of the day, we do not like drama in our area. Oh, Samuel Project is saying a consolation prize here. At least he's happy writing his own books. That is, we need to get there, man. We all need to get there. Either, either it don't. Here's the thing, guys. I know I'm pushing the whole write your own stuff hard on you guys, but you don't necessarily. I know I'm backtracking on what I'm saying, but I'm saying this: create your own material, no matter what it is, be it movies, be it animation. Even if it's not high end animation, if it has to be small on YouTube, make it good. Whatever it is that you want to do, make it good. Be it fashion designing or whatever, make it good. What is this man doing want to say? Oh, uh, he says the only character that got a good send off was Iron Man. Yeah, that sucks. And the only reason why they gave him a good send off because Iron Man started the franchise. So of course they're going to give him a good send off, especially with that extra footage with him and his daughter. And plus, I says on my job we lose a lot of good supervisors, but always end up with toxic ones. It seems they want to hire the toxic ones. That or they're a bad judge of character. That's another thing. They're a bad judge of character. And then he says, in spite of the fact it only happened because Robert Downey Jr.'s contract was up and he chose not to renew. But at the end of the day, they still gave him a good send-up because he's the first character that jump-started the MCU. So I'll give the Russos that. I will give the Russos that they gave Iron Man a good send off. In fact, he's the only developed father in game. He's one of the only few good fathers in the MCU. Do you guys notice that his daughter is like he's got a good relationship with his daughter. He's got a good relationship with Pepper now. They're a good family. His daughter knows that him and his mom, him and Iron Man and Pepper are superheroes. Now that she's rescued. As much as I don't like Gwyneth Paltrow as a person, I did scream when she came up as a rescue at the penultimate ending of the fight. I was like, yes, superpower couple, yes. That was a cool shot when she popped in. Sorry, brother says. Now that I've read the comics, I realized they snubbed Arnold Stark from Tony. I don't know what that means. Leposa says to Matt Nui, I wish Tony stayed and not killed because he would be missed. They could have just hired another actor to play the role. It will be tough. It will be tough to really get used to the new actor. But I agree with you there. They could have rehired. They rehired the Hulk with Mark Ruffalo, but I guess Tony made such an impact that it would be really hard to recast Tony Stark. Sorry, did I say Tony Stark made an impact? Oh, are you saying Tony's child was a excuse me? Sorry. So, same part. Are you saying that Tony's child is a boy instead of a girl in the movie? Is that what you're saying? But Manu says, personally, I'd rather he stayed dead. He's the only death in the MCU that actually mattered. Him and Yandu from Guardians of the Galaxy. If you guys seen Volume 2, and I sorry if I spoiled, but it's been out for a long time. I'm also saying Yandu was also kind of like a good father figure. Rowdy, yes, but he was a good father figure to Peter Quill than Eagle ever was. And he only met Eagle for like what several days, and Eagle wanted to use him as a battery, whereas Yandu taught him how to shoot, how to sneak through vents, how to pilot the Muladu, how to ravage basically. Think back to that scene where young Quill is holding a blaster and Yandu is showing him how to aim. I get a sense of warmth when every time I saw that scene of him. And Manu says almost every other character is getting brought back or replaced with an exact copy, so their deaths didn't mean anything. True. So I'm like really. So I'm pushing myself away from comics from the big heads because they're not right. One, they're not hiring writers. Two, they don't have no specific mandate to write good stories. Three, they want to replace storytelling with propaganda. That's what they want to do now. So yeah, it's gonna be we're gonna have difficult times ahead of us, especially when it comes to looking for material to sink our teeth into, and hope like the moment we see maybe a black person on the cover screen, we're questioning, oh, is it going to be woke now? Um, Now everything has a message. Almost everything has a message. They replaced the word theme with message. Ryan Johnson didn't make no theme. He made a message in Disney Star Wars The Last Jedi. That was not a theme. That was a message. So whatever the theme was, it was never there. Whatever he thought it was. Dang. Manu also says other media has a chance to not do the constant resurrections, but they keep blowing it. Now back to the topic of the stream. Hey man, this is my stream. I go back to the topic whenever I want. Brian Gilmore says the messages in media aren't even good messages. They're basically just vote for our party. Sorry, slipped on that. But yeah, the are you with us or against us? And if you are against us, then you have chosen death. Basically, they can't even stand the sight of anybody walking away from their party. Why are you walking away from our party? We're the good guys, not them. They can't see that. So if they can't have you, they will destroy you. That's basically what they're saying. If I can't have you as my plaything, as to feed into my hedonistic whim and any of my other sick and depraved appetites, then you must be destroyed because nobody can have you but me. They're they're to I guess we're hitting the three. We're getting close to the 3 hour mark, so I might as well just start hitting the ending here now. So, if anything of what I'm saying through my rambling, if I'm saying anything in the media so far, we have gotten characters that are control freaks, obsessive, possessive. Catra is a very possessive. I forgot to mention that Catra from Nura is a very possessive person. People who have no sense of responsibility, but will rather put the blame on others. People who are want to redefine things so that they can act on their hedonistic and depraved ideas and practices. People who act like they're the oppressed, but really are the oppressors. They're glorifying these characteristics in our media in the form of propaganda. They're not making entertainment; they're making propaganda, and they're using those who they think are oppressed as tools. So take a quote from the Winter series that's on Netflix from what Universe had said. We're just things that they think they can own, things that they can play with. Nothing but things. When I heard that, I'm pretty sure the message is for something else. But I'm doing what they're doing. I'm taking that message and applying it to what the real truth is. For every black person, for every homosexual person, for any trans person, for any person that they think is their pet oppressed thing that they want to play with, their oppressed toy that they want to play with. That's what they see us as, things. And when somebody and when somebody or something takes that thing, that toy away from them, they lash out. They lash out. They cuss. They swear. They call their parent any kind of names. They call their parent all kind of ists and phobes, and they accuse them of wrong thing. They accuse them of all that. They shame their parents. and the parents take it in, and they think that they take it in, and they question their sanity. They question their sanity by questioning, am I a ist? Am I a phobe? Am I wrong? But they don't but they're asking that question, and then that question blind them from the thing that they are actually abusing and torturing and gaslighting by, you have internalized sexism in you. If you're a woman, you have internalized racism. If you're a person of a different ethnicity, you have internalized homophobia or transphobia if you are LGBT that don't conform to the false narrative. Bullying tactic 101: shame and gaslight by children who see you as a toy, as a thing, nothing but a thing that they can play with. Trying to spread a message too that you are things, and you are our playthings. I know I do a lot of joking around, but I'm being serious when I'm saying this, and this is what I've been thinking for the longest time since the end of last year. We're just things to them, playthings. We're toys, living toys. And the moment we realize that and walk away, they lash out, they attack, they shame you, they gaslight you, and the people around you that care about you. But no, 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 no. They don't want you to leave. It's like that song that sang in Hotel California. You can check in and you can sleep in here, but you're never ever going to leave. I'm paraphrasing, by the way. I'm paraphrasing. You guys can do the quote in the chat, but I'm paraphrasing that line. But let me get y'all chats before I start closing stream, anyways. Schooner Twin says, "Wow, here's a comparison. Social progressives try to present themselves as our Griffith, but when we walk away from them, they become our Fento. I couldn't resist." Oh man, dude. At this point, I'd rather Griffith be leading our country. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. At this point, I'd rather Griffith be leading our country than who's currently going to be leading our country. I'd rather he be our leader. So that's why if anybody who's following me on Twitter saw who the president who I'll be cool with that share in the feed. Oh man, the times that we're living in. Let me read Samuel Proctor's line. I just barely realized the comedy of Superman and Lois Lane's relationship before the marriage. Superman pushed, Lois pulled back. Clark Kent pulls, Lois pushes away. Nice way of looking at things. Schooner Tunes also says, "We're not things. We're not things." From Mad Max Fury Road. Oh, Brian Gilmore got to be covered on Hotel Comfort. You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. Sorry, push that lamp. Yeah, that I'll tell you right now, that final line always haunts me. Now I know why. In a way, I'm pretty sure that that's not what that song is meant for. But like, when every time you hear that last line, "You can never leave," I'm like, bruh. But that's it for today, I guess, everyone. I'd like to thank everybody for joining me, my wingman included, and for a new face for showing up. Um, for later on today, I think it's Catholic Bible Geeks Bible study, and we have Mom Pacelli. Mom Pacelli is here to wish to say hello. Oh my goodness, Mom Pacelli, you came at the back end of this stream. We're about to sign out now. Is Carton with you though? Tell him I said hello if he's not. But later on, I think Catholic Bible Geek, we had the Bible study for Catholic Bible Geek. Um, Later on, also on the Professor Geeks channel, will be the book study of Kenobi. Go check that out tonight, guys. With his pal Albaka. Tomorrow, I think Fan Man might be starting up something, maybe. But later on, I think we also have something cooking Friday. I think me and Match might be doing a game stream tomorrow night. Saturday, it will be Ma Pacelli's rewatch of 51st Dates again. Sorry, Ma Pacelli. Oh my goodness. The notification just came up that late, 3 hours in. That's weird. That is really weird. But again, I'm sorry. Let me restart again. Ma Pacelli's rewatch of 51st Dates. I think it's on Saturday. I will not be attending that, frankly. Sorry about that, Ma Pacelli. I'm very picky with Adam Sandler movies, is what I'm saying. Very picky about Adam Sandler movies, and 51st Dates was never the movie that wrote me in when it comes to Adam Sandler. Especially, I did not find him and Drew Barrymore to be like an item per se. Like, yeah. Sunday, I got nothing going on. We watch wise, but I will be attending study hall with Troy Pacelli and H Boomer. Later on that night will be me and Mr. Matchstick's rewatch of that new Lupin the Third animation that came out last year, I think. So we'll be watching that. Stay tuned for that one on Sunday. Please, guys, please attend. Monday will be Monday Night Muse with Sound Engraver. Oh, hey there, Sound Engraver. She will have some good topics. I do believe she will have a really good topic this Monday. So hopefully that will be happening. Tuesday will be my stream of season 2 of X-Men Evolution, the review stream for season 2. Hopefully we'll be hopefully I'll have a more coherent a very coherent review of that season. Later on, I think the Professor and Big Al will still be continuing some Narnia reads, or they're probably going to start the Narnia rewatches starting with the Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe. I'm ready for that. Definitely. Wednesday will be Green Lion Girls streaming. I think she's still doing Hitman. I was not here yesterday, so I don't know what she has planned for next week, but I'm assuming she's still doing Hitman, or she's probably moving on to no. I think she's moving on to Final Fantasy VII Remake again next week, actually. The next day after, also sharing that spot is Sounds of Berman with H. Boomer and Darren Herron. And next day after that, Thursday, I will be doing some talk Transformers with a special guest. And I will not say his name. And yes, I only reveal that it's a he. But I will be having a special guest that day on Thursday. And whatever else happens. So I'm not going to repeat. But that will be it for today, everybody. I'm glad that you guys showed up. Thank you, Mapache, for showing up. we kind of mentioned you earlier. So that was a quick coincidence there, but still. So thank you, everybody. This is your Wolf Commander Wolf 10. I'm your werewolf signing out. You guys have a lovely weekend and stay safe out there, stay cool out there, and be cool out there. And guys, I'm really saying this right now. We gotta be the heroes from now on. We gotta be the heroes from now on. It's up to us now. Either work or writing, gaming, uh, art, physical activity. Be the hero. You are the hero of your story now. Your story, you write it. Oh, come on, man. Stop being a gloomer. But yeah. Scooter Twist says, a special guest. Is it Optimus Prime? Maybe. Maybe it's I, Optimus Prime. And I would like to say to everyone in this chat, till all are one. You're still a hero either way, Manui. Even if you are a side character. Side characters get some heroic moments too. Anyways, guys, this has been your Wolf Commander, signing out.